Good morning, calendar week 24, doubling the greens. Good morning, fellow adventurers on good ship planet Earth. I was not expecting to type that. Sometimes I think I might be a 1970s prog rocker after all. At this point in the writing of the newsletter, 2 short sentences written, neither of which even made it to the end of the line, I got distracted and I went down a rabbit hole of, did I really mean prog rocker? And discovered that the genre-blended, soaring, echoey and otherworldly electric guitar sounds with trippy, romantic and cosmic poetry that I really had in mind is actually called space rock. Makes sense, I guess, but there's a thing I learned at 6 a.m. on a Monday morning when, honestly, I should not be deep diving into acid-inflected cosmic poetry, man. Or is that derp diving? You decide. Anyway, for the rest of this newsletter, I shall be listening to Astronomy Domine by Pink Floyd. See if you can spot the influences. There have been extended periods of my life when I haven't read a ton of books, usually when I'm starting to get obsessed with something else, film or music or ballet or something. But I've always been a reader. There is one trope of some novelists that has always bugged me, the writer writing about a writer, when the main protagonist of the novel is themselves an author. I know you should write about what you know. 'Tis my opinion that most people can't or don't want to empathise with the writer. We can conceive a life that we do not have, and that is why we read books anyway, to get a taste of being a nurse or a bus driver or a lawyer or a down and out, and through an alternate existence to understand the human condition better. But I need to feel that connection. If the hero is a writer, how is it not about the author themselves? I'm not explaining it at all well. Stephen King is the most egregious sinner, but it's not hard to find others. Paul Auster, Sylvia Plath, Jane Austen, Haruki Murakami. All great writers, absolutely. But they've all scratched at that particular irritation of mine. I say this because I have almost nothing to report on the week just gone by, because I've been sat at the keyboard doing that thing that I do a lot of these days, and very little of being in the garden doing that thing that you're actually here for. And I have no doubt that constant reports of the book are not beguiling. Did some typing is not an engaging narrative of a week gone by. I've just been out for a walk around the garden, and I came back to Pink Floyd on repeat. It's fine. Fine. The garden is actually looking okay. It doesn't seem to mind too much that I've decided to dedicate myself wholly to a different thing, but just walking around and congratulating the cabbages and the beans and the potatoes on how well they are doing might be good for their self-esteem, but it's not especially helpful for keeping off the forces of weeds and drought, which hope to smother and starve them. I should make sure I get out there and be a bit active in my support of the plants various this week. Which segues appropriately into this week. The ancient mother is coming for a visit, which is nice. I think she would prefer to sit in the garden and chew the fat about things, rather than sit in the garden listening to me typing. So I shall seize this opportunity to get some weeding done while we blether. I'm glad she's making it over. She's currently in Berlin with her grand and great-granddaughters, and due to arrive this afternoon. I should bake some scones or something. How does one bake a scone? I'm not sure I've ever done such a thing. This was my garden in Lewisham, South London, 2007. I was experimenting with how much food can you cram into a tiny space. There was quinoa and sweet corn, peas, onions and beetroot, sunflowers, carrots, tomatoes and courgettes. In the picture, left middle, you can see at the front the 1 metre bed, where I was trying something special, but I can't really recall what. Not my first backyard productive garden, but a pretty one. Thought you might be interested. Incredible how much easier it is to keep a 50 square metre garden neat and tidy than a 2-acre one. Alrighty, DMs to Carpe. I hope you've all had a good one. I hope you all do have a good one. And let's all try to keep our heads about us, no matter what. All the pirate love from me to all of you. Your loving Pirate Ben. XO. XO.